For our next example, we're going to make a picture. Let's make a triangle. And let's make a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. And to do that, first let's take a look at the move. Move lets you move the drawing pad. When you click on this Move Drawing Pad tool, we can adjust that and move it so that the center is kind of closer to the center. It doesn't have to be right there. It doesn't make a lot of difference. And then to make sure I get the dimensions of the triangle right, let's remember how to put the grid in. We've got a grid. Now there are a lot of ways of making a triangle, but the easiest one is to use the polygon tool and make a triangle. Polygon tool lets you either connect existing points or create new points and automatically connect them together in the shape of a polygon, and we're going to make a triangle this time. So we click on the polygon tool, and let's go over to -4, -3 here. And then we'll go over to +4, +3. And then we'll go down to +4, -3 to make the right angle. And connect it back up. And when I've connected to wherever I started, I've got my polygon. And it's kind of hard to see the polygon, so let's get rid of the axes and get rid of the grid. And let's go back to the selection tool here. And notice what it did. Here's some things to notice. First of all, it labeled our points consecutively, A, B, C, automatically as we created them. If we don't like those names, we can change them, and we'll see how to do that later. And then it said, you know what, you'll probably want to name the side opposite the lowercase version of the particular angle. So it automatically did that for us. And as it created these objects, what did we create? We created 3 points, A, B, C, and we just created them at random, so they're free. And it generated 4 other objects: the line segments, A, B, and C, and the triangle. If I just go over any of these, it tells me what the object is. That's the segment of triangle polygon 1, the segment from point B to point C. So notice that's how it's thinking of it. And it tells me the length over here. All comes up in the algebra window. Now, personally, I like it better if I take these little guys and move them outside. I think they're easier to see, so I'm going to move them. And the Move tool so not only lets you move objects, it lets you move labels. And this A is kind of in a goofy spot, so let's move it over here. Now, I want to know that this is a right angle down here, so what I'm going to do next is click the Angle tool and take a look at the angle. B. By the way, it measures the angles in a counterclockwise direction, so you want to make them that way as well. And there we go. Now it called it angle alpha. I wish it'd call it gamma, but that's okay. We'll go to the Move tool here. And notice, since it was a right angle, it used the right angle symbol. Since we have the right angle symbol, we might not want to have the label. Well, any object can have a label shown or not. If we right-click the object, get rid of Show Label, the label's gone. So there's a right triangle. What else can we do with it? Well, let's take a look at the triangle itself and say I don't like the color. If I right-click on the object, go down to the properties. Now here's the actual important part of the lesson, right here. Click on any object you want, any of these objects here. And when the properties window shows up, it has a little mini version of all the objects. And you can access the properties of all of the objects once you've hit the properties of one of them. Polygon triangle has some properties. We can show the object or not. We could show the label, would give us the name. And by the way, the value for a polygon is its area, so it will show the area if you click the value. I'm going to change the color. I want the color to be like blue, maybe. And the style. Polygons and angles and things allow you to shade and fill in darker. So we'll go up here to 25 or so, someplace like that, and you see what it did. Okay, so now we've got our polygon. Let's say some things about it. Add some text. If you go to the slider and then click on the slider, down below you have some other things. The one we want here is text. Let's put text in. Wherever you click, that's where it puts the text, but you can always move it. Okay, this is a right triangle. I don't like it there. I want to move it here. I want to move it here. It lets you put it right over the object if you want, down below. Let's put it, well, I guess I did like it where it was. But I want to change some things about it. So if I right-click on the text, I can either rename it, instead of calling it text 1, I can edit it, delete it, or I can change the properties. Well, what do we want to change about it? Well, I want to change the font, maybe. Let's make it larger, 16 and bold. Easy to see that way. And color, let's make it the same color as the polygon. And there we go. Move it where we want it. This is a right triangle. And then we can export it. We can put it on the clipboard, save it as a picture, whatever you want to do that way. So that demonstrated some of the basic features of how to make a nice exportable picture.